Welcome to the Transformation Institute's podcast. This podcast will break down what real change is and how we think is instrumental to that change. In a society that often looks sideways at individuals telling us how to think, we will reveal and expose a barrage of thought manipulations and mind programming being imposed upon us unaware daily. Each week, we'll explore the awareness, strategies, tools, and mindsets needed to recognize, survive, and thrive amidst change. We'll feature insightful interviews and conversations with knowledgeable individuals and share inspiring stories of average people who have navigated their journeys of transformation and sharing their hard-won wisdom and practical advice. Whether you're seeking a shift in career, relationships, or personal well-being, this podcast is your guide to unlocking your full potential and embracing the exciting possibilities that lie ahead. Join us as we embark on this transformative journey together. Here's our host, Omari Jahiaden.
All right, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Transformation Institute podcast for change. And I'm your host, Omari Jahiaden. I thank you all for tuning in. I think I might be flying solo tonight because none of my co-hosts are here yet. So I'm thinking that maybe I'm gonna probably be doing the show by myself tonight, which is okay. You know, tonight we're going to be having a discussion. I kind of told you guys about it last week. We're going to be talking about Tyler Perry movies and TV shows, and we're going to ask the question: are they good or bad for our race or for our people or for our community? You know, only thing I can say is personally, I feel Tyler Perry is a very talented guy. You know, I believe that what he's doing, I don't believe, but I can be wrong, but I don't believe he's being harsh or intentful on causing harm to anyone. I believe, like everybody else, he likes money, you know, and I think any of us could get caught up into this same kind of situation if we had the life that he lived as a young person, being homeless and everything, and now he's a billionaire. You know, how do you say rags to riches, a real life story of rags to riches, you know. But I really do think that Tyler Perry, hey, how you doing, Bam? Oh, just so you guys know, if you wanted to make a comment or say anything, you can put it in the comment section, and I'll bring it up so everybody can see what you had to say. All right, but I don't believe, well, like I was saying, like everybody else or anybody else, I believe Tyler Perry is, his intent is not to harm. He's looking at the fact that he's like a lot of other movie producers and directors and things of that nature. They are looking at it from the perspective of these are true things that are going on in our community. Almost like when they make movies about gangs and drugs, and you know, you see the FBI movies and the NCIS TV series. I should say TV series, FBI TV series, NCIS, and all of those things, Law and Order, and all of that, those kind of things. You know, they are talking about things that are really going on. Which, you know, it's even though it may be a made up story, but it's something that's really happening in our society. And I believe what Tyler Perry is doing is the same. The only difference is like now personally, I love the FBI series. On Wednesdays when they have the Chicago series, Chicago Med, Chicago Fire, and I guess I'm promoting all of these places. But I love these TV series. I watch them ritualistically every week, you know, because I love cop movies and in those first responder movies and things like that. I even watched the first 48. But my point here is that when I watch these TV shows, oh wait a minute, Will's here. Like Will, I ain't need to see you come in, man. How you doing?
Hey, good evening.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna be here by myself tonight, man.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I think Vanessa might be still in Germany, and I thought she was coming back, but you know, whatever. I don't know. And I know Brenda had some death in the family, so she's doing some running around because they're gonna have the funeral this Saturday. So I thought I was gonna be flying solo, man. I don't know. But glad to have you here, man.
Thank you.
I was just speaking to how a lot of movie producers, TV producers, and things of that nature, how they may not. Well, there are those that do, but I believe the majority of them aren't being what would I call heinous in nature. When they produce these shows, they're producing them because they're actually things like I was saying, like the FBI TV series and the NCIS. These are things that, you know, these are real organizations, and they may not be exact things that happen. Some of them are, but these are things that go on in our communities and in our world. The gangster movies and things of that nature. These are things that are happening, you know. And I believe Tyler Perry falls under the same thing, where, you know, we got some ghetto people in our society, in our community, just as well as we have some thuggish, gang banging kind of minded people in our community. And when you make movies about them, you know, you're gonna have two sides of the fence. People are gonna say, hey, that's really what's going on. Then you're gonna have people say, that's a damn shame. You shouldn't be putting that kind of stuff out here in the community, but it's already in the community. So I'm not saying that to say that I'm cool with Tyler Perry and the movies that he's producing, because I'm not cool with it, but I understand, and I'm hoping that he's doing it because of how he came up as a homeless person and all of that, and he went through a lot of stuff as he grew up, and I believe this has an effect. How you grow up and what you go through when you're younger has an effect on how you think and how you see the world as you get older. You know, so I'm believing that's what Tyler Perry is what's going on with him. What do you think about his TV series and his movies and how it affects us?
Yeah, I kind of got mixed emotions about it. First aspect of it is that, you know, it does give you foundational clarity, if you will, as far as the family unit and everyone sticking together and working together as a family. But on the flip side, there are some topics that are being or have been introduced to our culture through some of the scripts that may have been written, you know, and introduced to our communities, you know. So it's kind of a torn situation with me. I feel a certain way about the image of Madea and how Madea represents, you know, what we look at near and dear to us in our family and in our culture, and that's our grandmother. And you know, I can't relate specifically to that imagery because my grandma was near and dear like Madea is, but she was not Madea. Right. A different type of Madea, and she, I don't recognize grandmothers like that because that's not the kind of grandmother I grew up with. You know? Right. So.
Right. I understand what you're saying.
Kind of makes you both as a mixed bag as a person.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of it's entertainment. You know, it's entertainment. So
a lot of people say they can relate, you know, to Tyler Perry. And a lot of people may be able to relate to Tyler Perry, but there's a lot of people who really can't really relate to those kind of imageries, you know.
Yeah, but I just think that, well, it seems as if not. maybe you can relate to this thinking, because we think for a change here, of course, that there are people that producers and directors and things of that nature that are producing movies, but the movies that they produce don't stay in the same what I call it thought pattern, like, or maybe I should just say it like this. There are those, and I agree with this, that say that Tyler Perry movies are basically about women that are being abused and misused, and they're usually Black women that are being abused and misused, and the abuser and the misuser is usually a dark-skinned Black man. And mind you, and I'm saying dark-skinned Black man. There's never a light-skinned one, dark-skinned Black man. And then the storyline in between all that is basically how the Black woman finds out that the Black man is no good, and then a light-skinned Black man or a white man comes to the rescue to save the Black woman, and that seems to be his storyline. I mean, that's the gist behind his movies and TV series. All of them have some, even though he has a TV series called The Oval, I think it's called, and it's dealing with the President of the United States, and even in that, it's still about how Black women have to be empowered, have to empower themselves, and I mean, and I understand all that, because Black women have been dealt a bad hand in many situations. I understand that, but it's well, I'll put it like this. It's like programming. They call TV stuff is a TV program. Back in the day, my mom even I used to say, I got to go home and watch my program or my story or something to that effect, right? And so if I'm all day, every day, I'm watching something that's telling me that I'm a victim and that I need to be mindful of these kind of men, and that I need to exert myself, and almost like the song that used to be back in the day, I am woman, hear me roar, and the woman king, and and it's like, and that, I understand all that too. It's cool. But what happens is it affects the family structure. Because if the family structure is constantly flip-flopping, because then probably in about 25 to 30 more years, it'll be because the man's gonna get fed up of seeing it, just like the woman was fed up, and he's gonna protest, and he's gonna put his movies out how low down women are and how they've been doing Black men for the past 20 some odd years, and then men be back on the head of the household, and we go in this vicious circle over and over and over again, man on top, the woman on top, and then it has the sexual thing to it too, Now the thing is, women like it on top, where it used to be the man. So in a lot of these movies, we see women in the sex scenes, it's the woman on top. You see, and this is a programming type of thing where we're being programmed how we are supposed to be in our lives and in our relationships with people. And this is what I'm seeing from Tyler Perry, and this is what I'm getting in, and I don't like it. I don't know if this is something that he's doing purposely. I would hope he wouldn't, but the effect nonetheless is the same. You kind of see what I'm saying now?
Right. I can see what you're saying, that they get painted as victims, and it not only just as victims, but they also are creating the imagery to make women in particular look very combative towards men and keeping that narrative of men versus women going in our culture.
And it's very dangerous. Yes, go ahead.
No. I was just about to say it's dangerous because we are dictating the way relationships are being implemented in our culture around our around our culture, dating, if you will, right? We see so many problems about the combativeness between men versus women, and how there is a narrative out there that black men don't protect black women and all that stuff. And we never have a full blown conversation as to why they feel like this and why they should feel like this, because of the actions that maybe they might have portrayed to get us to the point where we don't feel like we should, or we can protect, if you will, black women.
Exactly. Yeah. I got a video I want to show. I want you to take a look at, because there are a lot of A-list actors that will not work for Tyler Perry. If, as a matter of fact, if you notice, most of the people that are in Tyler Perry movies, none of them are A-listers or B-listers, basically. They're CD, they can walk through the mall and they wouldn't need security, because people might recognize them, but the majority of the times you wouldn't. In contrast to a Denzel Washington, if he went in the mall, people would be going crazy, But Tyler Perry has billions of dollars. He has his own filming set and studio, but why aren't A-listers working for Tyler Perry? Why doesn't he have Samuel L. Jackson in any of his movies? Why isn't Denzel Washington? What's the guy? Blade. Even him. Yeah, Wesley Snipes. I'm sure he could probably get Wesley Snipes at a nice little price, because he ain't working that much. Why isn't he in any Tyler Perry movie? What is it about these A-listers? Why are they blackballing Tyler Perry movies? What do they see that we don't see? But I want to show this video real quick. It's not going to be that long, so check this out.
Not a problem. Stuff that's on today is coonery and buffoonery. And I know it's making a lot of money, breaking records, but we could do better.
I don't know, man. It's just like Tyler Perry, he paints a very negative portrayal of black men. We ain't that bad. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, Tyler Perry makes us seem like we ain't
Honestly, Perry's journey could probably be his best movie yet, but instead of seeing that inspiring story, we keep getting hit with the same old formula. Perry in a wig and dress playing Medea or another character with a similar vibe. It's no wonder that big-name directors like Spike Lee have been vocal about their criticism.
The man has a huge audience, and Tyler's very smart. To me, just imagery is troubling.
When Spike Lee, who's never been one to hold back his opinions, criticized Perry's films and TV shows, he called them out for what he saw as coonery and buffoonery, essentially saying that Perry's work was reinforcing negative stereotypes about the black community. Didn't hold back in an interview with Black Enterprise, where he compared Perry's content to the type of stereotypical depictions found on what he called the idiot box, a pretty harsh jab at TV in general.
A lot of this is on us. You vote with your pocketbook, your wallet, you vote with your time, sitting in front of the idiot box.
Sure, he acknowledged that Perry is smart and knows how to draw in an audience. And let's be real, Perry does have a massive fan base, and he's no slouch when it comes to creating content that people love. But Spike wasn't too happy with the image Perry's movies and shows were promoting. He basically accused Perry of pandering to what would get the best ratings, even if that meant playing into harmful stereotypes. And honestly, a lot of people think Spike might have a point. Tyler Perry's brand of comedy often leans on simplistic and stereotypical portrayals. And while he argues that he's creating jobs for black actors and making tons of money, critics say that's not a good enough reason to keep pushing those kinds of images.
So, Spike Lee has spoken out his opinion, about Tyler Perry. The man is making billions of dollars with this with this stereotype. It's kind of like, you know, in the 60s, well, I grew up in the 67. Well, I was born in the 60s. And I grew up in the 70s and 80s, basically. So if you look at it like that, that's a 30-year process. We got young men and women right now today that were probably born in the 80s, but that means they grew up in the 90s and the 2000s, meaning they became in their 30s in that time frame.
Right.
And so the things that I experienced growing up, being born in the 60s, 70s, and being growing up in the 70s and 80s, is totally different from a person that was born in the 80s and grew up in the 90s and 2000s.
Right.
And when I was growing up, we had there was a consciousness, I should say, in the society where we knew that we were fighting the man. That's what we call the government or the powers that be, or
Right.
whatever. We called them the man. And nowadays, it's like we've been led to believe, because we've had a black president, we got a lot of black mayors, black chiefs of police, that, you know, black first black this, first black that. We've been led to believe that equality has finally arrived, you know, and then we're all working off the same thing. So we've let our guards down. And it's not only just that, it's the fact that our children are rebelling from our traditions. You know, they don't want to have nothing to do with how we did things. They want to do things their own way. Now, they don't have their own way. Well, I could be misspeaking. Maybe they do. You know, but I believe their thinking and where they're coming from with their way of doing things has a lot to do with programming.
Right.
Like TVs, the music industry, the music that they listen to, the TV shows that they choose to watch. I know my son, he watches a show where they talk about, oh man, he goes to sleep watching. I don't know if it's a YouTube channel or what, but they be talking about some raunchy stuff, you know, and he sleep, and this stuff is being programmed into his brain while he sleep. You know, all of this stuff, it's affecting us as a race of people. We don't see it because we think that this is the norm. This is how it's supposed to be. You know, people like me, in my age, I'm supposed to be in some nursing home or close on my way. They're supposed to be wheeling me in. You see what I'm saying? At some point or another, and I'm not supposed to be around and coherent enough. I'm supposed to have Alzheimer's or dementia or something like that. Or I'm supposed to be on drugs. I'm supposed to be an alcoholic. You see what I'm saying? Or I'm supposed to be a womanizer out here chasing these little young girls, you know, a sugar daddy or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm programmed, supposedly. People my age, that's what we are, you know. But I remember how things were back when we were a very powerful and united people in the 60s, when the protest marching, when all of that stuff came about, because we were together and we were organized. Now, these young folks, because they chose not to listen to us or take anything from us, which I understand that too, because we dropped the ball a lot. Our generation, we dropped the ball. I mean, plain and simple, you know. But we're in a very unique situation here. I believe things happen for a reason, and so I'm not really thinking like I want to change anything. I think this has to play itself out. I'm believing, but This is again why I'm recording these kind of podcasts. It's because in the future, our young great grandchildren are going to come, and they're going to be looking for how can I say it? They're going to be looking for what was the traditional stuff that, or maybe I should say it like this: they can be looking for that old foundation to rebuild off of. They're going to be looking for something, and I want to have something like this there for them, so they can look at it and hear our conversations and be able to understand that we're not trying to keep them from having fun. That's not what this is all about. We want them to just keep the foundation that we had that made us successful. Keep that, and then have your fun and do your thing on top of it. Don't throw away the foundation. It's like saying throwing the baby out with the bathwater. A lot of people say that. A friend of mine told a young person that, and he was like, "Why would you throw a baby out with the bathwater?" He had no clue what he was saying. But you know what I said, what I meant when I said throwing the baby out with the bathwater, right?
Absolutely.
You see, and so our young people need to understand this. This generation may not, because they're very angry. They're very angry, and they don't know really what to do. And so they've just settled into having fun and being as happy as they can, doing whatever they can that makes them happy, even if that's just getting high, destroying their body and their mind, their brain cells. And we'll probably be back in a minute. But you guys, what do you guys think? Put in the comment section what you think. Do you agree with what I'm saying? Do you think I'm being biased in some way? And I probably am, because I have my own opinion than everybody else. You know, but Tyler Perry ain't no different than any of these other producers that have been putting stuff out. I don't like it. I didn't like their stuff. When New Jack City came out, I didn't particularly like that. Boys in the Hood, Juice, New Jersey Drive. I didn't particularly like those movies because they were programming us. They were programming us to act and think and conduct ourselves and even dress a certain way, you know? And Tyler Perry is no different. They was getting paid by these white now I wouldn't say, the word is not movie producers. They're the movie company. You know, the MGMs and the Paramounts and all of them. You know, they were getting paid by these people in order to produce these movies, which they made money off of and got rich off of. And they were, in their minds, I believe, and in their hearts, they were producing product that's real. This is how it was or is in our community. And so to put something out like that doesn't seem bad, because when they put the FBI TV series out, or NCIS, or any of these other, they got one called Matlock. It's like an offshoot of the old black and white Raymond Burr TV series that was out. But it's a white woman, an old white woman that's like a detective kind of thing. And it's called Matlock. These TV series are programming. They are all TV programs. You know, we have to understand. We have somebody that come in and let's see what we got here. Oh, Kim, okay. Kim says they are good. Tyler Perry's movies are good. And what else? You said, oh, I must have missed your first one, Kim. This one is. Okay, Kim says, I don't like the acting in Tyler Perry on TV series. The Medea movies are funny, yes. And the movies Tyler played in are okay. Yeah, they are. But I guess what I'm saying is that do these movies have an effect on us? Do these TV series have an effect on us? Now, when I say us, I want you to understand who I'm talking about. They are people that were raised up by older people, older grandmother. Their parents were older. When they had them, they were in their 30s and 40s, and not in their 20s. It's a difference. When you're raised by an older parent or an older person, a grandmother or whatever, grandparent, those older ways are fused into our DNA. Where if we see something like a Tyler Perry movie, it doesn't affect us because we know who we are. See, I know I'm a black man, and I know where I come from. See, Roots helped me to see that. Some of these young people haven't seen Roots. And so to see something like that, it tells me who I am, and it lets me know where my place is. Well, I shouldn't say that, not where my place is, but where I am in this world and in this society. For a person that was born in the 2000s, or even like I said, in the 80s or the 90s, for a person that was born in that time period, most of them were their parents. And do some research. Google is a very good source. Do some research. Their parents were young, in their 20s, and not their teens. Many of them that were born in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Now, mind you, I'm not saying all their parents were in their 20s or in their teens or whatever. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that many of them were, the majority, I have to say, were. And because of that, they did not receive that foundational teaching or that foundational mindset that older people gave younger people back in the day before young people refused to listen. I'm in that age bracket where we listen to our elders. The generation after me that was born in the 70s is in that. If you were born in the 70s, you were born in that time frame where you listen to your elders. If you were born in the 60s and 70s. Now, if you were born in the 80s, I believe you got a half and half. I believe some half probably was raised up listening to their elders, and then that's where the rebellion kind of kicked in. We got another question, and we would say, oh, we got a lot of people saying this. All right, Tyshonda. She said, I was thinking the same thing. Yes, see, this okay, what you saying, Miss Yolanda? You made movies for our black audience. This is what you watch. And some wisdom comes from the movies. His movies wouldn't cross over to the other races. Now, that's a very interesting thought, Yolanda, because why wouldn't his movies cross over to other races? It wouldn't, because white people don't want this kind of mindset being portrayed to their race. See, it's a mindset that keeps you locked into victimizing or being a victim. Always looking for the next person to prey on you. This is the mindset that they want Black women to stay in. And if you stay in that mindset, the mindset is breaking through its dark in Black people, then this is how they keep Martin Luther King's and Malcolm X's. Any more of them are being born. You see, this is what this is. Chashawn just had another comment. He says, we had a foundation before we were exposed to what's happening now. Yes, we did. We had a great foundation, but that was because we listened. See, we listened to our elders, and they gave us that foundation. We didn't know what the hell we was doing. You know, they had to tell us, look, they called us young whippersnappers. Or what's the other term they used to call us? Young boys. You know, bring milk behind your ears. Because they say we was like little babies. We didn't know what we was doing. So they had to dispense wisdom and knowledge on us. And thank God we listened. But I'm saying that in the 80s, that half of us stopped listening. And then in the 90s, 2000s, and on, our people have been flying solo. We've been on our own. Kim, you had something else to say here. It says the foundation isn't there anymore. We stopped building on it. Well, Kim, it's not that we stopped building on it. It's our children stopped listening. See, this is how we learn. We learn by what we see and what we hear. You know, books are good. We've learned to learn from that. But the main way that Black people learn is by what we see. That's why most of the time, if you want to learn something, you say, hey, show me how to do it. Show me. I want to see you do it. Because if I can see you do it, then I'll know how to do it. Tell me how to do it. Tell me. I'm going to listen to you. And that's how we learn. But if we won't listen to nobody, then we can't learn from nobody. And if we ain't going to listen from nobody, then we can't even see it. We can look at what our parents are doing and what our grandparents are doing in their life, and we'll look at them like they suckers. I'm speaking to young people now. Oh, look at them, man. He a sucker. She a sucker for always going to church praying and all that stuff. That's some sucker stuff. We ain't for that, you know. And so this is where we are. It seems as if this is where we are, you know, where we don't know where to go from here. Last week, we were talking about solutions. We were saying, what can we do? What can be done? You know? And I think something I said, it sounded kind of harsh, but it was true. Most of us, our solution to our problems is we got to love one another, or we got to come together. We Black people just got to come together, and we got to love one another. That's the solution to all our problems. That's not working. To say that is not solving the problem. I would agree that if Black people did come together and did love one another, that we could pull ourselves out of this thing. But guess what? Somebody else thought that same thing before they put us in this hole. Do you remember in the Bible, there was a story about Joseph in the coat of many colors, and how Joseph was sold into slavery by his brothers. And you know why his brothers sold him into slavery, right? Because they were jealous of him, right? So I bring up Joseph because Jealousy is a major issue with us. Jealousy. We got another comment here. Who is this? Kim? Say we some good movies portraying black people. I guess you were asking, where are some good movies that's portraying black people in a positive light, right? I guess that's what you were asking. But unfortunately, there aren't any, how can I say it? There aren't any black movie producers that are free enough to be able to produce movies that portray black people in a positive light. Now, there's a TV series out. It just started. Matter of fact, I don't think it started yet. They just had a pilot series that came out. And it's called Watson. That's the name of Watson. With, what's his name? I can't remember his name. But y'all look out for that. But it's a black man. And he's a doctor. And they're portraying him as the Watson that was the Dr. Watson that was with Sherlock Holmes. Now, Sherlock Holmes was a great detective. And back in the day, I don't even know if Sherlock Holmes was a real person. But I remember watching Sherlock Holmes mystery movies and TV series with my mother. She used to watch them. I sat there with her and watched them. That's, I believe, how I became interested in detective shows and things like that. Like watching it. But Watson was a doctor that was not only a doctor, but he was a detective and a partner to the greatest detective that ever lived, a white man by the name of Sherlock Holmes. Now, back in the day, Dr. Watson wasn't a black man. He was a white man. So I would have to raise the question, why now are they making Dr. Watson a black man? You know? See, most people would look at this and say, now this is a step forward. Black people are really, we're making progress. That's what we would say. You know, who is this? It's supposed to be need. We need some good. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Kim. Yeah, we do need some. Yolanda? Morris Chestnut. There he is. Thank you, man. Morris Chestnut is the guy. He's playing Dr. Watson in a TV series called Watson. Some of y'all probably like that because you know y'all watch it. But I have to raise the question. Back in the day, Sherlock Holmes' partner, Dr. Watson, was a white man. Why are they making him black now? I don't believe. See, some of us can get caught up in the fact that we think that we're progressing, and we maybe, you know, it looks like it, but I don't believe it. And the reason I don't believe it is because, like what we're seeing now and what we're talking about now, it looks like we've made progress. Look at Tyler Perry. He came from nothing to something, rags to riches. It looks like this is, man, it's like we've arrived. But look at the effect that Tyler and other TV producers and movie producers like Tyler, who were held out of the movie industry for years, people like him. Spike Lee broke in. He broke the barrier. But did he really break the barrier, or did they let him in order that he can create certain types of movies or be their Negro producer that keeps black people in check by making these kind of movies that soothe us over, keep us docile in our thinking, not aggressive, in our thinking. But when Spike Lee, after making Malcolm X, showed black people, and that's a movie, Kim, that showed black people in a positive light. Malcolm X, that movie showed people in a very positive light. But you know why it wasn't that positive? Because black people have been programmed to be against Muslims. It's Christians against Muslims. That's a whole nother story. We can have that conversation. Let me see what y'all saying in here. Who's that, Kim? DEI. I don't know what that is, Kim. But hard conversation. What is this? Oh, okay. Peace. Somebody just saying peace. What's going on? Bearded conversation. I don't know who you are, bro. But bearded would lead me to believe you're a brother. So I'm hoping that's correct. These days, being in trouble. Anyway, what's diversity, equity. Did you spell that wrong or you did it on purpose? And inclusion. Okay. I still don't know who you are, bro. Used to be in the. Oh, you should go to Robeson? Okay. All right. Peace, brother. Pleasure to have you with us, man. All right, but look, we can't take our eye, or we can't allow ourselves to be made to wear rose-colored glasses in order to feel like everything is okay. Tyler Perry is no different than any of these other producers. The only thing I want us to see, because we're thinking for a change, I want us to see that we're, how can I say it? Oh, I want us to see that when we are allowed to move one step forward based on Spike Lee being allowed to produce movies in America. There was another black guy, he died. I can't remember his name. A lot of names I can't remember. But Bam, you know what I'm talking about, put it in the chat. It's a black guy that used to wear glasses. He made that movie, what movie? It was a TV. He did 50 Cent. We're going to talk about him in a minute. How much time do I have? Oh, we got about 12 minutes on. But what's this dude's name? He wore glasses. He did Boys in the Hood. I can't remember this, but y'all know who I'm talking about. Anyway, when these individuals, black men, were allowed to create movies to be shown to America, is the name? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, bro. Kind of throwing me off, man, with your comments. But anyway, it's cool, man, that you're here. I appreciate you being here and everything, man. But if your comments are not about what we're talking about, please hold your comments. I know who you are now. You said you was in Franklin. I got you. Because see, you throwing me off my train of thought. Now, what was I saying? I was saying something to we can't, the rose-colored glasses and allowing ourselves to be believing that we're moving forward and we're progressing. Because just keep in mind, do you remember the time when those black exploitation movies came out? Coffee, The Mac, Cleopatra Jones. Some young people don't know nothing about any of these things. And this is what I'm saying, and the young people that don't were born in the 80s, many of them. And if you were born in the 80s and you know what I'm talking about, you had an older parent or a grandparent that was raising you. Now, I don't know nothing about you, but this is what this is what the numbers are telling me, that when these black exploitation movies came out, we were shown in a very powerful, strong light. What's his name? Isaac Hayes in Shaft. He's a bad mother. See what I'm saying? These were movies that show black people in a positive light. The movies that have black people in them now, and like I was saying earlier, when Will was on here, A-list black actors like Wesley Snipes. Look at the movies Wesley Snipes produced. Those movies that he accepts and that he performs in shows black people in a strong light. Now, he was in a movie called Demolition Man. That was not a good light for black people. But that was, and if you look it up, I don't know, I just brought this up, but I'm willing to bet you the Demolition Man came out sometime after the 80s. Because Demolition Man was, and it probably was one of Wesley Snipes' first movies that he was allowed to act in. And he was playing a criminal with like blue eyes and blonde hair. If you all remember that movie, Demolition Man. If not, look it up. It's still out there on Netflix and things of that nature. Check it out. And it has Sylvester Stallone as this old-fashioned type cop. You know, because they were living in an age where you couldn't curse, there were no guns, things like that. They were calling themselves more advanced now. But and so they froze a person like Sylvester Stallone because he was outdated. They put him in this thermal thing and froze him. But they had to unthaw him to deal with Wesley Snipes. Okay? My point here is that Wesley Snipes, I can't think of another movie other than that he acted in that portrayed black people in a bad light. And I believe they brought him in and allowed him to be an actor in that movie to show black people in that kind of a light, because Wesley Snipes was programming young black people, young black men especially, how to conduct themselves and how to look. This is when this various color hair became popular. You see it still lingering on today. You see a guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown on the receiver for the Detroit Lions. His hair is blue because that's their color, and so he wears blue hair. But it was like that, but his hair was blonde, you know. But A-listers like Wesley Snipes, even white A-listers. You don't see Sylvester Stallone trying to do a Tyler Perry movie. You don't see Chuck Norris. You don't see nobody, no A-listers. Now, Tyler Perry got billions of dollars in his production. Why can't he draw A-listers? You got a comment. Let's see what we got here. Oh, yeah, Demolition Man. Yes, very horrible movie. It made black people look retarded. But my point here is that this is by design. It is just not by chance that this movie came out at that time, portraying black people with that image. You see? Now, Tyler Perry, his movies, I mean, I'm not even saying that all of his movies are bad. Some of them I like. Some of them. The first one, when he first came out, even his plays were good. You know, they were funny. They had moral stories at the end. The ones he's producing now, the message, usually there were more messages at the end of his movies that you'll take away. There's more. If you look, check his movies out again. The message at the end of his stories is drop that zero and get yourself a hero. And the zero is usually a dark-skinned black man, and the hero is a light-skinned black man or a white man or a light-skinned man of some other ethnicity. This is what his movies, this is the message. And this is what we should be looking for when we look at movies. Oh man, my time is running out, y'all. We got, what is that? 4 minutes. Okay, so this is my closing thought. We're going to close out. So this is what I want you all to take away from this. We can understand the problem. We know what's going on. We understand how it happened and everything. We've had many discussions. What can we do to change this thing or to fix it? The fact that we realize that our young people don't listen to us and don't want to hear from us anymore is an indication that, like with Moses, before the children of Israel were able to go into the promised land, there were a couple of generations of them that had to die out. Now, I'm saying that what I'm saying is that it may be 20, 30, 40 years before we can see some light at the end of the tunnel. Because I believe President Donald Trump, he is going to be on his job. And his job is going to be to force black people to do for themselves. I believe that with all my heart. He's going to force us. And when he does that, that's going to be the best thing that could happen for us as a people. This is why I'm not against Donald Trump. Because he's going to make us great again. So I thank you all for listening. Y'all have any last comments before we get out of here? We got about 2 minutes, a minute and a half. Anybody want to say anything before we leave out? That was my closing thought. Well, like I said earlier, Cousin Brenda couldn't make it tonight because she had death in the family. Vanessa's still in Germany. And I don't know what happened to Weevil. I think his computer's down. I don't know. So I was kind of flying solo today. I thank you all for being here. Your comments were all great. And I thank you all for share this video. Share it to people about the Transformation Institute, because we're trying to do some things here, and it really would help if we could come together. See, that's the way we can come together. We could come together and put our heads together and maybe figure out something that we can do to move forward. Thank you all for listening. I'm out of here. I'm Omari Jahi. We'll see y'all on the, what they call it, we'll see y'all on the next episode, which is next Thursday. Tune in next Thursday, 7 p.m. See you then. Peace.
Thanks for supporting our podcast. We look forward to seeing you next Saturday. Until then, strive for a peaceful mind. Your activity will reflect that peace.